Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia's modern capital city, is relatively young. It originated in the middle of the 19th century at the junction of the Gombak and Kelang Rivers. Chinese pioneers discovered an abundance of minerals here. Thus, this region attracted many settlers, and the name Stinking River was more than appropriate. Since then, however, things have much improved, and Kuala Lumpur is now one of the cleanest cities in the world. Skyscrapers and residential buildings seem to appear almost overnight. This city that never sleeps is growing at an incredible speed. The Petronas Twin Towers are one of the city's main landmarks. Each tower is 452 meters tall, connected by a breathtaking bridge. The façade of this unique architectural gem is particularly splendid in bright sunlight or when illuminated at night. This is the headquarters of Petronas, Malaysia's national oil company. It's like a small town with its own shopping centre and even a concert hall. Just a few minutes away, and the contrast couldn't be greater. A Malaysian village. In Kampong Baru, chickens freely cross the streets, and the local people live in well-ordered houses and enjoy a calm way of life. No hustle and bustle here. In the background are tall skyscrapers, and a television mast overlooks this traditional village set within a city. In 1889, Sultan Selangor commanded that this small Malaysian village be relocated from the riverbanks of the Gombak. Thus, this city village emerged. Here, the hubbub of the city seems far away. The well-arranged Malaysian houses stand in the shade of various fruit trees, surrounded by fertile gardens. It's only on Saturday evenings that there's a noticeable change. A traditional Malaysian market takes place here that attracts a good number of people until the early hours of the morning. The old Masjid Jamek Mosque is situated in the centre of the city, on the junction of the Gombak and Kelang Rivers, on the precise spot where the city was founded. Located on a tongue of land formed by both rivers amidst the city's skyscrapers, it is a sacred place that is extremely popular with the faithful. Several prayer halls and an inner courtyard that contain palm trees make the mosque into a tranquil oasis. The central water basin is used for ritual bathing and also for drinking water. Merdeka Square, the Square of Independence, is at the colonial heart of the city. In 1957, the Union Jack was replaced by the Malaysian flag. Each of the buildings around the square was influenced by the architecture of the Mughals, combined with Victorian design. The largest building in Merdeka Square extends for more than 200 meters, almost the entire length of the square. It's the Sultan Abdul Samad Building. This splendid Moorish-style building was designed in 1897 by architect A.C. Norman, with onion-shaped towers and a central clock tower. Where once colonial administration was conducted is now the Courts of Justice. Arcades and arched windows decorate the two-story high facade, as well as several circular towering stairways. At the southern end of the square are two small colonial administrative buildings that have now been transformed into museums. These buildings are also magnificent examples of the work of architect A.C. Norman, who had their characteristic oriental facade decorated with tiny alcoves and rows of bricks. Particularly impressive are the futuristic-looking mix of traditional building materials of steel and glass. A small white church is located on the northern edge of the square, St. Mary's Cathedral, of Victorian design. Following Sunday Mass, the British colonial community ventured through the tropical heat to a nearby club. For those interested in history and culture, there is the National Museum, the Museum NEGARA. It also features steam engines and old sedan chairs. Outside, there is the first Malaysian car, old huts and simple boats of the various cultural communities of this region. The country's history is depicted on the external walls of the museum, and the internal walls feature numerous scenes of daily life. A special exhibition provides information of the traditional shadow puppet theatre. There is a large collection of puppets on sticks made from buffalo skin, metal and wood. A skilled puppeteer operates the figures and tells stories accompanied by traditional music. Due to the large variety of ethnic groups in Malaysia, there is a vast quantity of arts and crafts. And the huge fish are particularly fascinating. Music has always been an important part of Malaysia's religious ceremonies, as well as being an essential ingredient in traditional dance forms and shadow puppet theatre. Malaysians dance at every opportunity. Although traditional clothing and dance styles change from region to region, they always convey the same expressions: love, emotion, and passion. Traditional festivals also feature dances where the men and women dance together without touching. Some of the dances were once only performed in royal palaces, and others originated from war. A little surprising, the main Hindu temple is situated in Chinatown, the Sri Maha Mariamman temple, dedicated to the goddess of rain, Mariamman. The Hindu gods ride, dance and meditate in colourful paintings above the entrance to the temple as well as within. Each day, the faithful Hindus bring garlands of flowers and other items to honour the gods, always assisted by holy men. Mari Amman is worshipped in order to protect against disease and misfortune. Many other gods are also worshipped here. Built in 1880, one of the oldest Chinese places of worship here is the Ziyao Temple that is located close to the central markets in Chinatown. The temple is said to have been funded by a Chinese Captain China Yapa Loi, and the lighting of fumigants is believed to bring financial success. In the 19th century, many Chinese immigrated here as their homeland was rife with war. Soon they controlled both trade and industry. However, in addition to their economic success, the Chinese have always been a very devout people, and their temples are usually kept busy. Little remains of the Chinatown of old. Most of the city's typical shop houses, buildings with shops on the ground floor and apartments on the upper floors, have since made way for modern buildings. Only a few of the older buildings have survived the building boom of recent years. But those small shops that remain are still open for business. Chinatown also features a huge central market that in recent years has developed into a stylish shopping centre. Where once farmers and fishermen from the surrounding area offered their goods, today various arts and crafts are sold at fixed prices. There's also an abundance of souvenirs, a tourist paradise. A monorail is the city's most recent mode of transport. It provides a good overground view of the city. A futuristic city also needs a well-thought-out transport system, so it was a good idea to separate the monorail from the main traffic routes. Modern stations are often integrated into glass skyscrapers and are readily accessible via enclosed passageways that protect passengers from the elements. It takes a little adjustment to become accustomed to travelling high between the skyscrapers, but exploring Kuala Lumpur in this way soon becomes a pleasure. The city's inhabitants are used to their elevated trains. For them, only one thing is important: the city must expand. They're proud of their newly built skyscrapers, city districts, and contemporary transport systems. Tropical gardens, jungle-like forests and small lakes. They're all to be found in the National Animal Park, set in the environs of Kuala Lumpur. The Zoo Negara provides a good insight into the animal kingdom of Malaysia and Southeast Asia. The enclosures are extremely spacious. From the ostrich to the imposing Seladang wild buffalo, there are also rare animals such as the orangutan and tapir. As the zoo covers such a large area, a number of small trains is available, a good way to see the animals. The open-air enclosures are adapted to the natural environment of each species. They certainly seem to be at home here. Huge herds of flamingos with splendid shining feathers crowd into the zoo's large water areas. It's a realistic setting. The monkeys are particularly popular. In fact, no other zoo in the world has as many varieties of monkey. Each one an endearing center of attention. In both jungle and savanna, they're difficult to spot. But here, the panther, lion and tiger can be observed at close quarters. A secure setting for both man and beast. Set high in the south of the city is the Istana Negara, the official residence of Yang di Pertuan Agong, the King of Malaysia. This building was originally the residence of a wealthy Chinaman, but in 1926 it was transformed into the palace of the Sultans of Selangor. It is protected by guards in shining white uniforms. The representative head of Malaysia is elected by the country's 13 sultans. They always select one of their own, and he reigns for 5 years. A breathtaking spectacle of colour greets those who visit the elevated THEAN temple that is situated close to the king's palace. The faithful are welcomed in the courtyard by various huge figures of the gods. This temple is also popular for wedding ceremonies. Each post of this splendid temple complex was donated by numerous Chinese multi-millionaires. Its construction was extremely costly. The city's inhabitants come here to worship the goddess Kuala Yin and pray for wealth and good fortune. It seems that many of the prayers have been answered, judging by the fine skyscrapers of this impressive city. A moving god makes thanks for the abundant donations. Everywhere sacrifices are offered. Here, religion is part of the everyday life of the people. The view above the city's many beautiful golden roofs is quite unique. It's not surprising that THEAN is one of the most beautiful temples in Asia. The station dates back to 1910 and is one of the city's most famous buildings. With its cupolas and minarets, it's more like a sultan's palace. Only the railway track and various trains indicate that it's a station. The British architect A.B. Hubbock was responsible for its design. A According to Victorian building regulations, the roof had to be built strong enough to carry 1 metre of snow. In this tropical climate, this seemed a mite overcautious. The Perdana Lake Garden is the green lung of the city. Numerous canals connect several small ponds in this English garden that was created in 1890. "70 hectares of green meadows with shady trees and blossoming exotic plants prove that a jungle can sometimes be tamed." Elegant, tiny white bridges span the canals. This artificially created landscape also boasts a number of waterfalls. A stroll in this park is a fascinating experience. It's also possible to hire a boat. The park is extremely popular. In the early morning and in the evenings, it's a popular place for joggers, family picnics, and courting couples. A 2,400 square metre garden enclosed by a huge net is also open to the public. The Butterfly Park. Here, the kois are an exotic sight, and 8,000 colourful butterflies fly around this magnificent garden. The turtles observe visitors as they walk among the garden's sweet-scented flowers and delicate butterflies. An artificially created paradise for insects, tiny animals, and above all, butterflies. The largest bird park in the world is also nearby. Here, more than 3,000 birds inhabit 9 hectares of land. Exotic birds from all over the world, such as peacocks, ostriches, pelicans and flamingos, and even a white cockatoo. Trainers work alongside the animals in large enclosures. A breeding station focuses on various birds that are threatened by extinction. A visit to this garden is a real treat. And all these creatures are free to fly beneath this huge net. On Bukit Nanas, Pineapple Hill, is the Menara Kil. In 1996, it was the 3rd highest tower in the world and the tallest in Asia. High-speed elevators on the television tower transport passengers to a viewing platform. Here, at a height of 400 meters, there is a wonderful view across the city. A fascinating view of the Petronas Towers and the colourful chaos in the streets way below. It's a good place to take a photo and buy a souvenir or two. Hardly any other capital city on earth offers as many contrasting sights and multicultural impressions. Tradition, history, the past and the future. Each is harmonically united in the pulsating metropolis that is Kuala Lumpur.